Hello everybody, welcome to Planet FPL Deadline stream for game week 32 and it's live. Hope you're all well. We are just under an hour away from the game week 32 deadline and it's been a very quiet FPL week for myself, mainly because I'm rolling a transfer and I knew all week that I was going to be doing exactly that. So I'm lining up this week with Bernd Leno in goal. Back three of Fofana just about getting the nod over Antonio Rudiger. Ruben Diaz, Sergio Reguilon, Mohamed Salah, who I have a feeling might be on the bench for Liverpool this week. Jesse Lingard, Diogo Jota, Heung-min Son is my vice captain. Up front, the Leicester pair of Jamie Vardy, Kelechi Iheanacho, and of course, captain Harry Kane. On the bench for myself, Fraser Forster. Rafinha first sub is obviously a doubt for Leeds United. Rudiger, as said, just kind of misses out versus Fofana for me, although I suspect it won't matter. And Nat Phillips is third sub because of obviously the FA Cup semi-finals, Man City rotations. Every chance I'm going to need Rudiger in any case. Left hand side of the screen you'll see my predictions for the game week. That includes correct score predictions for both of Tottenham's fixtures this week. I'm back in a 1-1 this evening at Everton and a bit of a thriller against Southampton in midweek. You'll notice one of the things I'm not predicting for Tottenham is a clean sheet. Captaincy, you'll see top picks for the week. Bottom right hand corner, quite frankly, I could have put 1 and 2 and just left the rest. I think in an ordinary single game week, Bruno Fernandes would have been very popular this week. But as is the case for Bruno in a number of upcoming weeks, it's difficult to actually see where we are going to captain him. And below me, you'll see 5 pages worth of benching dilemmas, which will flip around. You'll see 2 players in a head-to-head. The green tick means between those 2 players, that would be my preference of choice for the player to start. The first 4 pages are outfield players, and there is some goalkeeping benching dilemmas on page 5. And below that, you'll also see a ticker going across the very bottom of the screen, which has each club's next 5 fixtures. As ever, thanks to my man on the graphics, FPL Captain. Give him a follow on Twitter and pimp him up if you need some graphics done for your streams, guys. Right, let's get into the questions. Wish everybody good luck for the week. Edwin Guan is in nice and early. Well done, Edwin. Hello, James. Which 2 of the 4 defenders would you start? Rudiger, Cody, Masuaku and Fofana. Thank you and like this video, guys. Cheers. Yeah, if you can give the video a like and a subscribe, that's all very much appreciated, guys. They're all on the benching dilemmas, bar Fofana. In terms of clean sheets this week, I'm only backing Cody. So it would be Cody and Fofana for me. On that basis then, Edwin, that's the 2 that I'd go with. Because of rotations, etc. The FA Cup semi-finals beforehand, that there's every possibility that you're going to need that bench in any case. But for me, in order, it would be Cody, Fofana, Rudiger, Masuaku. I'd go in that order, and I think bar Fofana, they're all on the bench in dilemma screen in any case. TJ Powell, hi James, no question this week, just here to enjoy the inevitable Spurs questions. Remember everyone, benching headaches are there for a reason. Delete your repeat questions and good luck everyone. Cheers pal. Bushcast says, hi James, what's your take on Dean and Cresswell? I own both, one is half injured, other seems useless. Hold or sell one for a hit? Well, quite surprising news today seems to suggest that Aaron Cresswell could be available for West Ham this morning, tomorrow rather. There was a suggestion that he could be out for sort of 3 weeks or so, but David Moyes has seemed to say that he might even play tomorrow. It's difficult. Genuinely speaking, I think this is a really good week for people to roll because I promise you there's going to be so much information to learn this week off of the FA Cup semi-finals and possible announcements of May's fixtures. And whether it's going to be double game week 35 or whether it's going to be blank game week 36. So I think it's a really good week to roll, particularly when many of us have got players who are very reasonable. I mean, Dean and Cresswell, if they're both fit, they're both reasonable options, no doubt about it. Cresswell you'd want to hold, I think. If you've got fit players, Pushkar, I'd just leave it at the moment and roll, mate. Definitely wouldn't sell one for a hit. in my opinion, unless you've got shit on the bench. If you've got Mitchell and players like that on the bench, then yeah, potentially. But I wouldn't fret to sell Luca Dean before Tottenham. And Cresswell's got them final 5 fixtures are absolutely brilliant for West Ham. FPL Invincibles this afternoon, James. I'm thinking about one more transfer for a -4 hit this week. Diaz to TAA or Watkins to Iheanacho. I have Vardy in my team already. My answer to that would be go Watkins to Iheanacho, mate. You might not get the immediate on that. You'd obviously need Iheanacho to score for that to be the case. But, nah. I'm very happy with that over the next few weeks that you'll get the gain on that. So Iheanacho, yeah, sure, absolutely. If you don't make it this week, you'll probably be sitting here this time next week and wanting to do it for free. I'd get it done. Ola Stamos, hello James. Guess Kane effective ownership top 10k. Good luck in the top 10k. I think in the top 10k it might not be quite as high as everybody thinks, because I think there's a few there who'll go, fuck it, I'm gonna go for Son, for example, or even a Bruno, and genuinely try and swing against it in a bid to hit the top 1k or the top 100 or something like that. So I don't think it'll be quite as big as everybody thinks, actually. But I think you're going to be looking at sort of 190%ish, I guess. It's going to be monstrous. Absolutely huge. You've got one of the most popular players in the game around the world. It's difficult to think. I mean, he's going to break captaincy records, I think, in terms of probably most captain player in FPL since they've been keeping records on this sort of thing, I should imagine. Edwin Grant says, why start Fofana over Rudiger? That's a very, very good question, Edwin. And I'll answer it very simply like this. I've predicted Leicester to win 2-1 on Thursday, and also predicted Chelsea to win 2-1 on Tuesday. Just quite simply, if you said to me, right, James, head against the wall, one of them's going to keep a clean sheet, I've just got a little bit more fancy for Leicester, actually. I've fancied Brighton's chances of possibly getting something at Chelsea, subject to what Chelsea's team is on Tuesday. So that's the just simplistic reason why. But quite frankly, mate, I could have left that down to a coin toss. It's so close. I've got Diaz. I'm not overthinking it, because there's every chance Rudiger will come in as well anyway. Jonathan Aves says, hey James, the only time I saw Spurs was a league game at Old Trafford in 2010. The game ended 3-1 to United. Can you name the 2 United and Spurs goal scorer? Hint, United had 2 pens. Good luck, yeah. Giggs scored twice, Nani, Ledley King scored for Spurs. Pushkar says, see, you're impressed with that, aren't you? Pushkar says, seriously, considering this, and it was a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. Anything else you want? Pushkar says, seriously, considering this -8. KDB, DCL and Dean or Cresswell out. You've already asked the one question, you've gone again. Salah, Cavani and Saïd Sin, what do you think? I've kind of opened the stream by saying, just looking at it and going, Liverpool's last 3 fixtures, Salah's played them all, and Mane, Firmino and Jota have all missed one. Is it Salah's turn to miss out? Nah. Going -8 on a week where a team's got a double game week, you're not going for any of the Spurs players. Not that I think any Spurs player, bar Kane and Son, is worth a -4. I can answer that one for everyone now as well. David Bell says, really enjoy your content, mate. Enjoy Wembley. Thank you very much, David. Yeah, for those who missed the Tottenham podcast we released earlier, or don't perhaps follow me on Twitter, or haven't seen the tweet, yes, I do have a ticket for the Carabao Cup final. Christopher Guinness says, happy to hear you got tickets, mate. Hope you all win. I just hope we win. Lamichi says, hi James, start for Fofana or hold him. Lamichi, my friend, you'll find them on the benching dilemmas screen, and I can confirm for you, actually Fofana's not on there in fairness. In theory, I would go for hold him, because I'm backing Arsenal to win 1-0 and Leicester to win 2-1. So in theory, holding, but just a caveat to that I would pick Pereira or Castagne over holding because of potential attacking threats. So that's why you might see on the dilemmas that Pereira appears higher than holding, although they're very close together on the bench in dilemma screen. Finn122 says, team for this week. Are you going to give me the whole team? False. Finn, much respect to my friend, but I'm not going to read out a whole team, mate. Sorry, I'm trying to power through questions, mate. James Nelson says, hi James, good luck this week. Is Loris in for Johnston worth a -4? Lingard for Gundo or Rafinha question? Right, so Lingard in for Gundogan or Rafinha. For me, for Gundogan, because I think you'll want Rafinha for the end. And if Rafinha doesn't make Monday, he's going to be back for 33, it looks like. Oh, you wildcard next week? Oh, that's a possible game changer then. If you're wildcarding next week, I'd probably sell Rafinha, unless you've got big value tied up in him, which I'm going to guess you haven't. So if you're wildcard, I'd take a chance on probably keeping Gundogan, actually. toss a coin whether he plays or not, like basically every Manchester City player this week other than Ederson. In terms of the -4 for Lloris for Johnston, no. But who's your other goalie? You've got another goalkeeper. Is it like a 3.9 or a 4.0 or something? Do you not have another goalie? I'm guessing you probably do, because you've obviously got the money spare to go, Hugo. If you've only got Johnston and a shit goalkeeper, you're probably going to want an improvement of a goalkeeper between now and the end of the season. So it's a rare case where I'll actually say, yeah, fuck it, do it. Stian Bosto says, I couldn't hold it. Target to Castagne, done. Good luck this week, Gov. And to you, mate. Frank Sherman saying, smash that like button. Cheers, Frank. Zaris, my friend from Greece. Do you think Rodon will keep his place at centre-back for Spurs? Greetings from Greece, my friend. Hope to see you soon at Greece, and Kane will play as a goalkeeper again. Yes, my predicted Tottenham team is probably Rodon and Dyer again. However, let me honestly tell you, you know, people often say in the chat, am I mad? Am I crazy if I... Yeah, that. Please don't buy a Tottenham centre-back. I would not be surprised if Alderweireld and Sanchez tonight. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's then Rodon and Dyer on Wednesday. Haven't got a clue. Not a fucking Scooby-Doo what that prick in charge of my football club is going to do. He doesn't even know, I don't think. I wouldn't be surprised if he's sitting there now going, I wonder which two clowns I should play this week. It's possible. Please do not buy a Tottenham centre-back. Andrew James says, hello, -4 for Neto to Bowen, or play Vidra. I can't afford J-Lings. I no problem with playing Vidra this week. I don't expect Burnley to score at United. But for the majority of people, I think it would... Most people have got a power midfield 5 at the moment, so it's an easy bench. But for some who perhaps have got two shit forwards they're unhappy with, I don't know, say Vidra versus Watkins. I'd play Vidra over Watkins this week, actually, for example. That's on the bench in Dilemma screen. In terms of the -4, yeah, I'd go with that. Neto, unfortunately, it's going to be out 6 to 8 months, is the word. Bowen, great fixtures, West Ham as well. I have no problem with that move. Even if you don't see the immediate, you'll feel better about it this time next week. Matt Wibrot says, who misses out? Jota, Fofana, Diaz, Rudiger. Current is Diaz, but think he may play given no Champions League games in midweek. Matt, can you see my team on the screen, mate? Because I've got all of them, mate. And you can probably see that Rudiger is on the bench. Jassim Jazz, hi James. Benching dilemma, play one of Holding, Reece James, Dallas, and the bench order. I would have it in... I think we're at the point now with Dallas, we probably just need to play him when it's a close call. I would have found that very tough this week, I think. But I think the attacking defensive players for the rest of the season, I feel like stick them in, generally speaking. If you look at the benching dilemma screen, I've got Shaw over Cancelo, Cancelo over Dallas, Dallas over Cresswell. They're the theme of the kind of 4 attacking fullbacks. Then it goes Cody, because of obviously the majority of us will really fancy Wolves for a clean sheet this week. Then Pereira, and then you've got the others are further down the list. I think I'd play Dallas. Honestly, he's the midfield runner. And Suj put it really well on the podcast we did, I think on Tuesday's pod. He asked me about picking Dallas over Rafinha, and I said no, but it's really close. And it's quite simple, as Suj put it. You've got 2 chances. You've got the clean sheet possibility as well. It's not impossible. They are being more pragmatic, Leeds. So I think I would go Dallas, Holding, James. And you're a bit worried about the James 1-pointer. I would guess that Reece James probably plays against Manchester City tomorrow in the Cup semi. What that means for Tuesday, I have no idea. You've got to factor in, they've got West Ham Saturday is a huge game for them. And then the Real Madrid game's 3 days after the West Ham game. I'm guessing the Chelsea team for the Brighton game's fucked. And you're quite right. Someone like Reece James is more likely of a 1-pointer than, say, an Antonio Rudiger, for example. Pushkar says, what do you think Kane's effective ownership will be? Should it matter? Well, triple captain. No, just if you got the triple captaincy, just stick it on him. Don't overthink it. B. Conway, afternoon, James. Who would you do Vidra to Iheanacho for -4? Would play Nacho instead of Rudiger or Holding? Already have Vardy. Yeah, I'd do that, mate. Keep your likes coming for Lyndon Dykes, who's going to be, I can exclusively reveal, is going to be top goal scorer at Euro 2020, actually. Not. Do you think Lucas Moura will start both? I think he probably starts tonight. And then that obviously, dependent on Tottenham's result, puts him in a good position to start again on Wednesday. I have no idea. Of the attacking players, he's the one most at risk, obviously. I would say probably yes, but I genuinely don't know. If you want me to tell you who's going to start twice for Tottenham with clarity, I will tell you Lloris, and that's it. No, I think Kane and Son will start twice. But I think there's a possibility if we lose tonight that there could be heavy rotation against Southampton in midweek. I think a draw, no. I think if we lose, that could happen on Wednesday. If we win, I don't think he could. If we win tonight and he rotates the team on Wednesday and we don't win, he's going to get fucking murdered, Mourinho. Not from the fans. He's going to get murdered from Levy for giving up the last opportunity of a top 4. If Tottenham win their last 7 games, can still finish top 4. I know Tottenham won't win their last 7 games, right? But in theory, there is still a possibility there to do it. Does Moura play twice? Even Reguilon, I think, yes, he probably does, for example. Aurea probably does, although Doherty could be back in midweek. But he could do mad shit like play Tanganga at left back and stuff. It's not like we don't have attacking alternatives to Lucas. Lo Celso, Lamela, Bergwijn. Can I tell you that Mourinho definitely won't leave Lucas out on Wednesday? No, I can't tell you that. EPL ETYV. Who gives you the biggest erection of Moura and Reguilon if you can't get to Son without a number of hits? Get to Son with a number of hits. I genuinely would prefer you to take a -4 for Son than take a free transfer for Lucas Moura. That would be my opinion. Neither of them get me erect, mate. But from the benching dilemma screen, as you'll see, there is slight favouritism for Reguilon over Lucas Moura. Not the bench dilemma, captaincy picks. So I've put, for me, I've done this intentionally because for me, captaincy is irrelevant this week. I've put intentionally 5 Tottenham players on there that I think are potentially worth considering for a transfer. And that's why it's only those 5. We would not go near any other Tottenham player. That includes Serge Aurier. Doherty could be back in midweek. Tanganga could play right back. Wouldn't go near it personally. So it's those 5. And yes, slight favouritism for Reguilon over Moura. Zaris says, bench 1 of Salah, Jota, Lingard, Bruno, Lucas Moura. The defence is a mess. Haha. I am going to say to that Lucas Moura. Probably. No, I obviously wouldn't because I'd always play the player with a double. I would, from that, genuinely, it would be Salah or Jota. And I think there's a case for it being Salah. I wouldn't. I just would not leave Mohamed Salah out. But there's a case for it because I think it could be his turn. Could be his turn. Leeds fullbacks will bomb on. Does Klopp want Salah doing that against Alioski? I don't know. Esperance this afternoon, James. Hope you're well. Currently have 4 City Spurs players, including Gundogan. Better to hold transfer for double game week fixture news, no chips. Yes, 100%. That's what I'm doing, my friend. So I've got the same problem. I've got 4. It's every possibility I won't sell any of the 4 next week and just play 10 players. And I could still just look at Harry Kane in my team and be quite happy with that. I might do that. So yeah, the information's crucial, mate. That's why I'm not making a transfer. Andrew Baker says, Cresswell and Rafinha to TA and J-Lings for -8. Worth it? No, not for me. Joe Finley Badder, Evening Blood, Sterling to Bruno or J-Lings fam? I would go J-Lings fam. Not that I think he's a better pick than Bruno. I just think at the moment you might be better off just leaving that money at the side, my friend. It's not... Sterling's got to go, really, isn't he, unfortunately? It's not like he can't go off against Villa, though. That's the problem. I would go J-Lings. Honestly, that would be the call, and just leave the money for the information, Joe. Alistair Coper, afternoon, James. I'm getting Lingard in. Plan to take out Gundogan, but with Rafinha a doubt now, would you take Rafinha out instead? Probably would mean next transfer in 33 to take out Gundogan. Thanks. No, I'd leave Rafinha in, mate. It's just that one rare case where someone said they were wildcarding next week, in which case I'd say, yeah, the other way round. David Jack says, best FPL account for me. Keep out the great work, James. Thanks, David. Like that, mate. Ad L, evening, James. Would you take a -4 for Neto to Mason Greenwood? We've already moved Sterling to Son. Well, do you want Mason Greenwood long term? If the answer is yes, then my answer is yes. Muslim, triple captain Kane this week or keep for later weeks? Get it done. Don't. anyone else asked that question. Jack Charlton, evening pal, would you start Alonso over Rudiger? Cheers. Yes, I would, because of the potential of the player. And I think there's a strong possibility that Alonso will start against Brighton, because I don't think he'll start against Manchester City tomorrow. FTLOL podcast afternoon. James looking to wildcard in game week 34. Is either of these worth a -4? Ward-Prowse to Jota or Diaz to Trent? In my opinion, no. And a tip part why of that as well, just a little bit of caution. If Southampton beat Leicester on Sunday, I said this a couple of weeks back, and I actually think even stronger about it now. If Southampton beat Leicester on Sunday, I do think it's a real possibility that Fulham against Southampton will get added to game week 33. I do think that's a possibility. If not, admittedly, you're saying you're wildcard in 34, but they'll probably double in 34 and 35 if they were to win on Sunday. I think that Fulham-Southampton fixture could be in the midweek between 33 and 34, like 6 o'clock on a Wednesday or something, or 6 o'clock on the Monday. So over a week preparation of notice for the two teams. Let's be honest, how long did Fulham get against Tottenham in January? What was it, 2 days? And there's every chance privately they've said to Fulham, look, if Southampton win on Sunday, this will possibly happen. That's the sort of conversation they should be happening. Remember, both those two teams blank next week. So it's possible that they might not. But it would need Southampton to win on Sunday for that to be a possibility. Vivek Gore says, do I hold KDB or sell him? Already have Son, Salah and Kane. You buy him, mate? I'd say yes, sell him, but like, don't buy Mohamed El Neni, mate. FPL Finding Glory. Evening, James. Loving the hat. Hopefully Kane scores a hat-trick tonight. If so, this is your lucky hat, and it goes to the EFL Cup final with you. Quiz. Well, I wear the hat for the Deadline stream all the time, because when I started doing them, people kept saying, who do you support? So I just thought I'd leave it out there so everybody knows, just in case. In terms of the hat, I'll be keeping an eye on the sun at Wembley over the weekend to see if I'm going to need a cap or not. If I'm not going to be blinded by the sun during the game, then I won't be taking the cap. If I am, it will come with me. Listen, the Lucky Charm shit, none of that stuff works. I've learned that. Owen Walsh, sounds like a good tagline. Delete the repeat. Good luck this week, mate. Delete the repeat. Yes, like that. Thank you, mate. Kenneth Faz, who to bench? Arnold, Shaw, Masuaku, Cody. Masuaku for me, from them. Ricky Saunders, my Tottenham correspondent, my friend. I hope everybody enjoyed the podcast me and Ricky did earlier today. If you just want 15-20 minutes of Tottenham FPL assets, go to the People's Poll podcast we released this morning called Spur of the Moment, and from minute 45 it's about FPL assets exclusively. Ricky says, hello pal, bench Maddison, Jota or Lingard? Regrettably, mate, I don't know why we didn't talk about this last night. Regrettably, the answer to that is Maddison. Grim choice, but I think that's what it's got to be. Eshen says KDB to Son and DCL to Cavani for a -4. You're good. FPL captain, our man on the graphics is in this afternoon, boss. Good luck this week, mate, and to you. Thanks as ever, my friend. Albus89, hi James. Is it worth bringing in Bruno for 2 hits? Or Greenwood Cavani for 1 hit? I have no Man United attacker and I am afraid they will trash Burnley. I have already taken a hit for Lingard and Iheanacho. Well, you'll see my team and you can count the number of Manchester United players in my team very, very quickly. I don't do the fear thing, mate. I have no Manchester United players. No. I honestly not gone through my mind. It is what it is. Alistair Coper, what's your predicted Spurs lineup for tonight? Okay, fine, let's do it. Loris, Region, Rodon, Dyer, Aurea, Højbjerg and Dombele, Lo Celso, Lucas, Son, Kane. And hopefully in a 4-3-3 that played in the first half against Manchester United. Not the fucking catastrophe, calamity 4-2-3-1 that he decided to defend with in the second half. Fucking idiot. Pierlo's pen, play Rafinha or Tierney to Castagna for a -4. I think it's a play Rafinha, mate. I can't say that's worth the hit when I'm saying I think West Brom will score. Mahesh says, hey James, but you can obviously view that as a longer term transfer, my friend, either way. Mahesh says, hey James, looking for a cheap Cancelo replacement. Holding Fofana, Kabak are options I'm looking at. Who would you suggest? Cheers. Definitely Leicester. For me. Honestly. Them next 4 fixtures. Beautiful, mate. If you can get up to Pereira or Castagna, better. But if not, that's what I did. I restricted myself and I went for Fofana. So that would be the call. Lynn says, Lacazette or Cavani for a hit. I think Lacazette, actually. And I think he's a very, I think in any other week, Lacazette would have probably been in the top 5. In fact, he definitely would have been in the top 5 on my captaincy trick. I think he's a really interesting differential shout for this week, actually. Not that Cavani's not, by the way. I just think Lacazette might be doing enough to stay in the team. But the problem is, the Europa League's the priority, and the same's going to be true for Manchester United. So I think whichever one you get, you'd have to view it as a very short-term option. And I would slightly favour Lacazette, personally, just slightly. I'd take the view on that and say, if Arsenal won 3-0, Lacazette will be involved. If United won 3-0, Cavani might not be. And that would be the reason for that decision. Steve Greenworth says, "Hey James, how was I foolish enough to bring in Reguilon for 29 to 32? He looked lively and then fell off a cliff. What happened?" Well, he decided a few weeks back that he did not want to be at the football club and doesn't want to be at the football club. I'm fairly convinced of that. He's a good player. I mean, he had an awful game at Newcastle. As Ricky said on the podcast, wasn't much better against Manchester United either. It's an easy one for most people to move on after 34. That's the problem with the Spurs assets. You can say, yeah, sell after 32, but look at 34. Sheffield United at home. It's brilliant, isn't it? It's brilliant for a player like Reguilon if he plays. General Vox, start Castagne or Azpilicueta. I would probably just edge for the Leicester players in that kind of debate, so Castagne for me. Himanshu says DCL to Cavani or Gundogan to Greenwood for a -4. I think I'd prioritise moving Calvert-Lewin, to be honest. Lockchaw, holding Fofana and Phillips. Pick 2, please. Holding Fofana, Phillips in that order. Lalo Tree, hi James, Vidra or Emil Smith Rowe to play? I'd go Vidra, mate. Theodore, hi James, thoughts on Callum Robinson as an option from next week? Well, the problem for Callum Robinson, he hasn't got any more games against Chelsea, although he did get a goal against Southampton on Monday night. And looks like a player in confidence. But, nah. I don't see that. Going at Gemma Baggies next Friday night after the game at Leicester and ask her, see what she says. Kartik Rail, bench 2, that's what we've done, I think. Oh no, we haven't, sorry, Kartik. Bench 2, Fofana holding Aina. I'm going to go holding over Fofana, Aina, straightforward really. Ray Qureshi, hi James, pick 2 to start with Mendy and TA, please. Rudiger, Cody, holding Soufal. Love you, Ray, my friend. You know how this works with the benching dilemmas. Kufal admittedly is not there, but just replace Kufal with Masaraku. That'll do ya. You'll find your answers there, mate. M. Crescenzi, my friends and I finally have a decent mini-league this year. Is there anything similar fantasy-wise for the Euros this summer? There will be a Euros fantasy game, yes. And me and Serge will probably continue to podcast throughout somewhat about it. Maya says, hey James, Dallas or Nat Phillips for the first spot on the bench. Starting DS, so first sub probably comes on. Cheers. Yeah, Dallas, mate, has kind of answered previously. The D production, can you tell me why you think that Leno is a better option than Mendy in this game week, please? Yes, I can. D production, have a look at my correct score predictions. Max says, Azpilicueta or Alexander Arnold to start. You don't leave Trent. If you've got Trent, you don't leave that Trent, mate. Leighton Lukes, Diaz, Rudiger, Gundogan, Cody. Which 2? Diaz and Cody. Yeah, honestly. James, is it worth transferring out Gundo or Stones for a hit? Benches, Bam, Dallas and Dean, money not an issue. Listen, you've got cover. It's not the best cover. It's all right. You've got Luca Dean, 3rd sub at home to Tottenham. Fucking hell. It's not that bad, mate. Velucio, Reguilon for Diaz. If it's free transfer, yes, fine. Pete Haley, hi James. I have the same mid and attack as you, but have Bruno on and Jota on the bench. Who would you play? Thanks. From the same mid, I'd probably bench Jota. Probably. But I do think there's every chance that Jota will start Monday and Salah won't. But I don't think you can. That's just me having an educated guess, potentially, that it might be Salah's turn. So I think I would leave Jota out. As if says, 2 benching headaches, James. Lingard or Jota, Reece James or Diaz. The second one's not a headache, mate. Just play Diaz. There's every chance they'll both get 0. Lingard or Jota? It's got to be Lingard at the moment, hasn't it? Unbelievably. Static, would you get Ricardo Pereira from Leicester in place of Diaz? I'd be playing Pereira for the next 4 and then we'll get Dallas. Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. If you want to make that transfer, I think that's fine. Mustafa Hassan, which 3 to put? Rudiger, Shaw, Trent, Cody and Diaz. The last 3, mate. Probably. Actually, no, I'd go Shaw over Cody, I'd say. Trent, Diaz. Don't leave out Man City defenders. Don't leave out Trent. And I think Shaw over the others. So there's your 3. Joe Knight, bench 2. Diaz, Cody, Castagna, Shaw and Soufal. So for me, that would be Soufal. And by default, it's probably going to be Castagna, I guess. Yeah, just about. Louis Morel, Cavani, good idea? No, it's a bad idea. Yeah, it's fine, mate. Crack on. Atul says, smashing the like button and coming back after the deadline for the post-deadline show. Cheers, pal. Vas Felix, Martinez, I think you mean Martinez to Loris from -4. I have Sanchez versus Sheffield United covering 33. Not worth a 4 in my opinion. You've not seen what Martinez got in the last 2 games. -4. Imagine if Villa kicked clean sheet against City. Yeah, fucking 12-pointer, mate. James Nelson, thanks for the advice, James. Chuffed as you got tickets for Wembley as well. Thank you, James. Giuseppe Grappano, sorry if I mispronounced that, mate. Havertz or Smith Rowe in for Gundogan and Shaw. In for Gundogan, Shaw, and Shaw, Sanchez or Holding in for Dallas. Fuck, mate. Havertz or Smith Rowe in for Gundogan. My answer is neither. Shaw, Sanchez or Holding in for Diaz. Oh, I've just fell in that you're asking me about fucking Davinson Sanchez. Please don't do that, mate. Don't do that. Shaw by default. Havertz or Smith Rowe? I'd go Smith Rowe and save the money, mate. Think about something else next week. Jake Cook, who should I bench out of Holding and Gundogan? I think you play Ilkay, don't you? Jonathan Nagy, Evening James, my bench is Rafinha, Dallas, Soufal in that order. Right order, yes for me. Francis Logan, James Rodriguez to score tonight? Probably. Richarlison's a certainty. Rene says -4 Fernandes to Son. Yeah, I can't really argue it. Sayers, play Masuaku or Rudiger? I'd go Rudiger personally. Alden says, Evening James, you always say play a striker or midfielder before a defender, but would you play Wood or Saka over TAA, Aspi, Diaz or Shaw this week? And if so, which defender would you leave out? I would play, genuinely, Chris Wood over Azpilicueta or arguably Luke Shaw. But I wouldn't leave out Diaz or TAA. Saka, no. Saka I wouldn't pick over any of those. Chris Wood, yeah. Yeah, have a look at the benching dilemma screen. Just replace Vidra with Wood and work your way through, mate. And those who aren't there, they're not there because I assume that everyone will just start them anyway. Ez Thrifty, have a good one, James. Thank you. Adil says, which 4 would you start out of TAA, Rudiger, Cody, Shaw and Diaz? This is getting a bit repetitive, isn't it? I must have covered this by now with those exact same players, I should imagine. I would leave out Rudiger and Cody off that basis. Victor Sandberg, no question here, mate. Just want to let you know that I love the content you and Sid are providing us with. Good luck this game. We very much appreciate that, Victor. Thank you, mate. Notorious Nerd, 5 Spurs in the captaincy. Wow. Yeah, there's not really. There's 2. There's only 2 players this week. No one's actually going to captain any of them players. Genuinely. There's a few out there will captain Lingard. I'm fairly certain of that. But even now, I'd go to Spurs players. The shit Spurs players over Lingard. Udit says, hey, any Gundo replacements with 0 in the bank? What price is Gundo these days? Gundo replace Jared Bowen. There you go. There's your answer. John Booger, Cody or Diaz? Diaz for me. Frank Sherman, Sayuj, benching dilemmas. Tell you, my friend. Just at the person for me, Frank, if you can. So I know you're responding to someone, but thank you. Darshiel, bench for Rafinha or Bamford. That's on the benching dilemmas. Praise. Worth a KDB to Sun transfer? Yep, I'm going to say yes. The truth with proof. Excellent video. Will Regulon play both? Probably, but I've been over this. Tom Broderick. Hi, James. Happy Friday. Odd question. It's for anti-FPL. Do you think Vinicius gets at least a cameo across the 2 games? The less minutes, the better. So as long as it's above 0, all the best. There's every possibility that he gets a 1. Yeah. Yeah, of course there's a possibility. There's every chance Mourinho will just put him up front with Kane and go long. Not that he doesn't particularly not do that. Okay, direct, long, 2 different things. Just go long. Very late in the game if we're losing. I'd say particularly tonight, actually. So yes, it's a possibility. Devan says, hi James, Diaz to TAA or Gundo to Jota. Go Jota, my friend. Thanks, Sherman. Thanks again, mate. Rohan says, hey mate, holding on Masuaku. It's a holding for me. Lee Jackson is Vidra essential. Totally, my friend. Love you. Aussie James Bay Ram, triple captain Kane or holdout for other doubles. Great show as always, mate. Get it done, mate. Mike Cumberland, play Gundo or Lingard. Play Jesse. Anmol, keep up the great work. Thank you very much, mate. Kieran Hill, who would you start? 2 from Watkins, Bamford, Rafinha and Phillips. You'll find all of them on the bench in dilemma screen, Kieran. They go in order from page 1 onwards. Preference. Stephen B, do you think Bowen could be a good differential? I definitely do. I've just recommended him for someone else. Jose Vargas, Mount to Lingard or roll a transfer. I would prefer you to roll than actually make the transfer. Because you might very quickly find that Mason Mount could become very useful for you. Generally speaking, I would say if you're looking at it honestly, I go, yep, that's worth it. But actually, I'd roll. I would honestly roll in that position. Patrick De Beer, do you think Maddison has a good chance of starting? I think he has a very good chance of starting. The truth be proved, Southampton play high line and this is good for Son. Triple captain, Son scored 4 against Southampton last time around. The problem for Southampton that I saw on Monday night at West Brom wasn't a high line, it was the spacing between defence and midfield. It's a problem that Burnley have also got at the moment. It's way too big. Don't doubt though that it allows Son to run at them instead. And yes, when Tottenham are deep, Son will be looking for that in behind all the time. So there's 2 ways he can get them. Jack Davis says, thoughts on going Bowen over Lingard. Don't mind that if you feel you've missed the boat. Monil Shah, Laka or Cavani in for Bamford. Well, it's that early for someone else. Very small preference for Lacazette, but he is small. FPL Ibro, hey James, good luck this game week. Aspi, Rudiger, Cody, Dallas, bench 2. Mendy in goal, thanks. Don't let that influence your decision. It would still be, for me, bench Chelsea players. Honestly. Daniel Harper, Bruno and Neto for Son and Mora for -4. I presume there is absolutely no chance you can just go Neto to Son there, I will assume, from a money perspective. I don't like, even though Neto's injured, I still don't like the -4 for Mora. You will want to sell him next week. I can guarantee it for you. The answer to the question is yes. But I'd already in my head I'd be thinking, who am I buying for Mora next week? And then the answer, then you have to ask yourself, is it just better off just buying them this week? Canal says, great podcast, James. Thank you, JK. On the verge of triple captain Kane. Would you go for it this game? Yes, go for it. Already got Son, Jota, Salah, Lingard, Bruno. Good luck, boss. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. You are going to be incredibly lucky if you get a better double game week come up than this one. I promise you. Stian Bosdale taking the GoPro to the Spurs game. The Road to Wembley by James Linden. Awesome Patreon content, in my opinion. There will not be any GoPros at Wembley Stadium, mate. You know what I said on the Tottenham podcast on Tuesday? What I didn't actually factor in is that I might not even be allowed to move from my seat while the game is in play. Hoping I somewhat can, maybe. But I don't want to. I hope I stay in my seat and I'm happy. Garlic25, I'm not sure if you'll answer this, but if you could take a player from each player in the league to Spurs, who would it be? Garlic is way too long for now, but if you want me to do a run through at 6:30 very quickly, pop the question in again. We're about 20 minutes from deadline, guys, so do make sure you get your teams locked in. My clock is around about 2 minutes fast, unfortunately. I have no idea why that is the case, but yes, I am about 2 minutes fast, unfortunately. Techers 3773, James, I think I have this worked out based on a benching. I have Shaw, Rudy and Holding. I dropped Rudy. Yeah, I think you've got that worked out, mate. Alistair Coper, I know it's an awful one, but who would you put higher on the bench, Vestergaard or Konsa? Vestergaard, because of his ability to score against Tottenham from a set piece. Udit says, hey, any Gundo replacements with 0 in the bank? Udit, if I see that question again, boy. Lalu Tree, the others will tell you what happens. Lalu Tree, Bruno to Lingard or roll the transfer? I prefer rolling. And are we acting like Bruno's not got a great fixture this week? Vivek says, hi mate, love the content. First season FPL for me, currently at 3k and have my free hat and triple captain chips remaining. What should I do forward and also what to do with the chips? Triple captain Harry Kane this week. Monday's podcast, we're going to cover chips off again a little bit. Once I know the FA Cup semi-finals, I can give you absolute clarity, A or B scenario of what's going to happen. George Tip, Bale is play. Bale is not play. Jason Dick, greetings from Toronto, James. Greenwood or Maddison for the rest of the year? It'd be Maddison for me. George Tip also says -4 for Saw or Mora. I presume you mean Son. Don't take a -4 for Mora, please, anybody. Alan Hurlahan, start Holding or Rudiger. It's a holding for me. Also starting Mendy and Alonso, makes no difference. Sana Kara, who to bench, choose 2. Aspi, Region, Cody and Castagne. Who to bench, choose 2. Choose 2 to bench. I'm going to say to you, Aspi and Castagne. Jan says Gundo, Strick and Maja out for Son, Cody, Iheanacho, -8. That's the type of -8 that I like. Yes, go for it. Though if you can afford to leave, I presume you can, I would maybe just go to -4 and not take the extra -4 for Cody. And the reason I say that is Struijk will probably get a 2-pointer against Liverpool, and Cody is a player, he'd be great for a 6-pointer, don't get me wrong, but he's probably not likely to go beyond it. We know he could score from a set piece, so could Pascal Struijk, by the way. So I'm not sure that final bit is worth it, but generally speaking, yes, I quite like the look of that, and you do have the benefit of more good Wolves fixtures to come. Shabra, I'm going to just jump that, Lucas. Sana, I'm going to skip your triple captain Kane question. Udit, you were warned. Sorry, mate. You can come back next week, but your question won't be getting answered. Dreco, why not triple captain Son? I wonder. John Kedwood, hello, James. I hope you're well. Cody or Masuaku on the bench? Masuaku, mate. Chinyen from transfer, please. Which one or none? Shaw to Region or Jota to Mora? I will say yes, go Shaw to Region. Jim010583. Hi James, just discovered your channel recently and really enjoy your pods, especially the correspondent ones. Cheers, much appreciate that. Correspondent ones are my favourites as well, mate. Christopher C, thoughts on Foden, Dean to Son and Dyer for a -4. My thoughts are it's Dyer, mate. Sushet Kumar, start Sanchez or Martinez. I think you go Emmy, didn't you? Probably. Go Emmy Martinez. I think so. That said, there's obviously a far greater chance for Brighton clean sheet than Aston Villa clean sheet. But it's the possible save shit that if Martinez did keep it, he's a hole. You know that. Ben Taylor, Dallas or Nat Phillips? It's Dallas. Matthew here, triple captain Kane or Keenan Davis as a differential. No. Ryan Brewster, mate. Daniel Jarman, Kane triple captain or not? Question: game week 37 could be better. Game week 37 could be better. It's unlikely to be better. Kane, if he had a double in 37, would be Wolves and Villa. Salah would have a decent looking double of West Brom away and Burnley away. To get to double game week 37, you need, from this point on, FPL to fuck up the dates. That's how you're going to get double game week 37. Otherwise, there isn't going to be a double game week 37. It's going to be double game week 35. Look at them fixtures. They're shit. Josh says, hey James, Rudiger or Rafinha? Rafinha for me, mate. Sam8 Mac says, hey James, love your show. Smash the like button. Thank you. Rudiger or Soufal on the bench. If I already have, don't worry about that. Just bench Soufal, mate. Razwan, Alonso to Region for free. Will he start both? Well, I can't promise you that Alonso starts one, so it has to be Region. Daniel Jarman, will Kane start both games? I don't expect him to start either, mate. I think he's going to be benched for both games. I don't pick the team. Kane should start both games. The majority of the Tottenham team that starts tonight will start both games. The storyteller says, Lacazette, I've covered. Hey James, am I the only person who thinks triple captain Kane makes little sense this week? Better off looking for a game where a player won't be so well captained. Yeah, there's a case for that. I mean, there's a case to say it's not the best triple captaincy now. What I'm also saying to you is I don't think there's a better one to come. And I just don't think you should overthink it. Honestly, don't overthink it. Herm says, hey James, am I the only person who thinks that's what we've just done? Yadav, Dean or Phillips? Question, Dean for me. Denver, evening James, if Spurs win the League Cup, will it save Jose for next year? Fucking hope not. Greg Simpson, Dallas or Rafinha first on bench. Rafinha, I'm second guessing myself after last week. Dan WM, as a Spurs fan, should I start Sanchez and hope he starts the game? That if you've already got the player, then obviously you stick him in the team. That's fairly obvious. Shane083, Aina to Dyer. Thoughts, please, James. You don't want my thoughts on that, mate. Omar says start Castagna or Saka. Castagna for me. Chris Few, I know you prefer forward, but Vidra over an extra defender like Rudiger, Holding, Shaw, etc. I did cover this a little while ago that there's some that I would, and Rudiger is one that I would prefer him over this week. Holding would be another. Shaw would be another. Basically, I'd prefer him over except for the City defenders or Trent. And I think, to be honest, even when I say City defenders, I wouldn't leave Diaz out, but I'd go Vidra over Cancelo actually. So, yeah, I'd still go with a forward. Manso Ali says, Ricardo Pereira or Ruben Diaz, let me know, please. It's always going to be Diaz any week, mate. Christopher Nesvek, hi James, replace Gundo with Mateus Pereira for a punt for a couple of weeks. 0.2 in the blank. Replacement tips for game week 35. Well, there's little point in me answering that question till Monday's podcast. I'll give you loads of tips on Monday's podcast for what to do for 35. Canan says, play Stones or Dallas. That'd be a Stones for me. Neil Zappels, Semedo, same spot as Cody in benching dilemma. Good luck this game week. Thanks, Niels. Semedo, same spot as Cody. Oh, you're asking it's a question. Yeah, just treat them the same. I mean, if anything, you put Semedo slightly higher, if anything. Same would apply for 8 Nori, actually, I think, this week. Roman Saiz, the same as well. I would just treat Cody on the benching dilemma the same as all of them. Jared C, excellent concept, mate. Start Areola or Martinez. That's right at the end of page 5, next to each other on the benching dilemma screen, Jared. Dylan says, what up, James? My start, I don't care about your starting 11, mate, to be fair. Would you still hold the 3 or do Neto to Pereira? Or do Neto and Diaz? Neto and Diaz to Lingard and Cody for a -4. You seem like you want coverage of Wolves there. So, no. If you want to go Pereira for 3, I'm really not that keen on buying Mateus Pereira. I love him in that central position, but is that what we're buying this week? Way to Leicester. Alex says, would you take KDB out for Fernandes, Maddison, Havertz for a -4? Nope. Daniel Pedersen, hi James, would you start Martinez or Johnston? On that one, I would probably go Martinez, actually. Ali says, keep Dean or -4 for Region. Keep. Steve Ochi, Bruno and Diaz out for Son and Trent. Seems straightforward if they're for 3. Ethan Williams, -8 for Region, Iheanacho and Lingard. I'll take -4 for just Iheanacho and Lingard. Just the -4, mate. Amaya, you might have heard me cover triple captain Kane's possibility. Andrew Jason, hi James, Watkins to Nacho for a hit. Yeah, don't mind that hit, that's fine. John Simpson, you've got Cresswell over Cody, but predicting a Wolves clean sheet, but not for West Ham. I'm going Cody. The difference with that is Aaron Cresswell was a little bit like the dual threat with Stuart Dallas. If he plays, and he'll either be a 0-pointer or he won't play, but if Aaron Cresswell plays, set pieces, corners, direct free kicks, every possibility, right? West Ham, potentially, we think Diop might be back, even though David Moyes didn't say so today. We think that's a possibility. On corners, they could possibly have Diop, Dawson, Ogbonna, sorry, not Diop, Ogbonna, that's what I mean. Diop, Ogbonna, Dawson, and Souček attacking corners and attacking free kicks. That's why Cresswell over Cody and not the other West Ham players. But I absolutely, listen, to leave someone like Cody out this week, you've got to have really strong defensive players. I absolutely get that. Mark Buchanan says, chasing a 70-point lead in mini league is captain his son mad. Of course it's not mad, mate. Alejandro Perez, and listen, it's not like Son can't outscore Kane. Of course he can. Son outscored Kane by 5 points last game week. So let's not sit here and pretend like it can't happen. Alejandro Perez says, hey James, Pereira or Castagna in for Stones. If you can afford Pereira, that would be my preference, mate. Alistair Coper, just seen the rumoured Spurs team. Back 5, Loris, Aurea, Dyer, Toby, Rodon, Region, Doiby, Højbjerg, Sissoko, Son, Kane. Jesus fuck, if that's the team, is all I've got to say. Alistair, be very careful putting things like that in the chat, because some people will take that very literally. And I know you've said rumoured Spurs team, but that could mean anything, mate. Please don't put comments like that in there, because people take shit literally. And I'm not saying that's not going to be the team. I can tell you that there's going to be a fucking war in my house before the game even starts, if that's the team. Alex Mann says, who would you get in for Gundogan this week as a -4, Lingard or Jota? Jailings at the moment, timing's right with Newcastle. Shano83, okay, so huge no on Dyer. What about Shaw to Reguilon then? If it's for free, yeah, fine. Jux, hi James, Maddison over Jota. Love it as a differential idea, so if you fancy it, yeah. Dixie says, Dawson or Dallas to start. Dallas. Osimar says, Catania, Brewster or Holding, first sub. Who's fucking Catania? It's a fucking Italian club. Who's that? Who's Catania? You ain't putting Brewster ahead of Holding a sub, are you? Shano83, actually, is 2 Spurs in Kane and Son enough? May just not bother with Spurs defence. Shit, don't stress about it. Honestly, if I'd not gone Reguilon on wildcard last week, I wouldn't be buying a third Spurs player this week. Alex Austin, similar to the Sun chasing captain versus Kane. My opponent has triple captain Kane. I think I need to captain Sun then. Good luck. I understand you're chasing. All you have to say, is this the best opportunity to make up ground? Like next week, there's big splits. You know, Leicester have got Palace at home. Liverpool have got Newcastle at home. Bruno's got Leeds away. There's no Tottenham next week. What I'm saying is you might just be better going with now and making that gain in other weeks. Because if it goes badly for you, you're smashed and you're finished. Oh, I'm chasing. Yeah, but you could get obliterated. That's the other problem, right? Alistair Coper, 3 centre-backs when Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't even available. Jose making it easy to sack himself at this point. Yeah, no further comment, mate. Alex Austin, Alonso was sure to bench. If you've got a Marcus Alonso, you're going to play a Marcus Alonso, I think. Cole, getting nervous about Greenwood this week. Could move to Lingard. Thanks for sharing, my friend. Shano83, good luck this game week, James. Alejandro Perez, Watkins or Dallas to start. You know me, I'm going to say Watkins, mate. David Lampert, any strong opinions on Holding, Cedric, Masaraku on field or much of a muchness? Holding is the only available Arsenal right-sided centre-back at the moment, so should definitely play. Cedric is a strange one that he didn't start for Arsenal last night and didn't start at Bramall Lane on Sunday. So you think he probably does play. In that case, he would be the preference to pick this week, in all honesty. I think Newcastle will score tomorrow. So those two over Masaraku. But to be honest, David, it's probably much for muchness. Listen, Holding could get a 6-pointer from a clean sheet. Masaraku could end on a 5 from an assist, right? So, Jose Vargas, his fans in the stands 100% confirmed. No, it's not, but it's extremely likely that it's going to be in the next 7 days or so, yes, for the final 2 game weeks of the season. Neil Zappels, if one hasn't got Iheanacho yet, I love that. If one hasn't got Iheanacho yet, he's bringing him in next game week. Still worth it with Barnes in the future picture again. Well, Brendan Rodgers, Iheanacho's 4 fixtures, right? And then you make a decision. Brendan Rodgers has said that Harvey Barnes is still weeks away. That suggests to me he'd be back game week 35 at the earliest. I wouldn't be concerned about it. Vikrant says Sterling to Salah for a hit. Not this week. Not this week for me. Alejandro, thoughts on doubling up on both Lingard and Bowen? Yeah, I'm cool with that, honestly. Jocks, hi again, James. Wino Vardy's captain option, is he not due? Dear. I suppose you could look at last week and say Adama Traore scored for 18 months. He was due. It's very simple, my friend. Iheanacho's 10th on the list, and he's in better form at the moment. Simple as that. You're not going to tell me at the moment, forget differentials, forget mini-league opponents. If you were buying one to make your team right better and they were the same price, you would buy Iheanacho right now. Honestly. Is Vardy due? Yeah, very much so. Is West Brom at home a good fixture for him? Not convinced. Listen, he's in my team, right? Of course I fancy him to return. But Iheanacho, right now, is the better call. There's not a doubt about it. Addy Mac 83, Bellerin or Dean in. I wouldn't be going near Bellerin, and I wouldn't be buying Luca Dean either, actually. So no. What No Graphics? Hello, James. We are about 4 minutes from deadline, by the way, guys. Make sure you get yourselves locked in. What No Graphics? Hello, James. Watkins to Iheanacho free transfer this week. You won't get any complaints from me from that one, mate. You probably just guessed that from what I said. Sabisi 1, which 4 to play? Castagna, Diaz, Rudiger, Trent, Reguilon, and Maddison. Maddison, Reguilon, Trent, Diaz, Bennett, Bluey, Lacquer in for a hit, or just play Rob Holding. Ian O'Neill, best of luck this week, pal. Thanks very much. I appear to caught up with the questions, so if anybody's got something they want to slam in extremely quick, go. While you're waiting, hit the like and subscribe buttons and all that jazz. Jose Vargas, why Vice on Sun? Why not? You answer in the chat. There's no questions now. You answer. Why shouldn't I? What, two players in the same game? Should that be my concern? We're playing twice. And it kicks off in an hour and a half, so I know the game's going ahead, mate. Kemi, triple captain Son over Kane. Yeah, if you want to, like, it's fine. It's fine. We've covered this. Yeah. He's in the same team as Kane. Yeah, great. They've got 2 fixtures. What happens if the Tottenham team comes out tonight and Kane steps off the coach and does his ankle? And he's out for 3 weeks. Who would I want the triple captaincy to be on? The captaincy to be on. I want it to be on Son, wouldn't I? Come on. It's different to game weeks where you've got a team playing Sunday and a game playing Tuesday. Plus, not being funny, there ain't no games getting postponed no more for COVID. Honestly, it's not going to happen now. I don't think we're going to be fine. The majority of players have probably been fucking vaccinated by now. To be honest with you. So I don't think we're going to have any more postponements. James says Chinese takeaway or Indian. Definitely a Chinese for me because I can't deal with the spicy food. But the Indian we get something from because she loves a ruby and stuff. Brilliant mixed grill they do, in fairness. Lalu says last James, will Bruno and Vidra outscore Lingard and Pulisic -4? No. Lewis Browning, hi mate, making a cricket fantasy team with Shum you want in. Have a good week, mate. Yeah, can't wait, mate. So fucking excited. I'm going to put my hand down my trousers thinking about it. Jose Vargas, right, you've got it. Well done. FPL telling Josh, best of luck, James. How do you see the game going tonight tactically? Feel free to answer in 3 minutes after deadline. Well said. Apex Sector, evening, James. Just wondering what has been your best end of season rank to date. 21k. The year Tottenham finished second. When Kane went mental at the end. It was actually 7k going into the final couple of weeks. But at the time, I refused to have Spurs players out of fear of jinxing them. I finished 21k. Weber, bench order, holding first or Rudiger. Yep, as you are. Andrew Moore, bringing Bowen for Neto and play him, or hold transfer and play for Fana. Well, there's no problem playing for Fana, is there? Ian O'Neill, a captain Kane and vice captain Son with Fulham game was postponed for COVID. This is slightly different. I mean, the game's kicking off in an hour and a half as well. We've got people in the chat telling us they think they know that Tottenham are playing a back 3 tonight and the team's been linked. DJ Music Ace, love the Spurs pod, James. Thank you. Nice to hear Ricky's take as well. I really think Jose should go ASAP to salvage anything. Cheers, mate. You don't say. Jason Dick, do you think Greenwood will start for the rest of the year? What, like every game? No. But is he going to be a rotating first choice? Yes. Cole, realising I'm terrible at phrasing questions, am I panicking to consider doing Greenwood to Lingard? No, stay as you are, my friend. You be good. Victor says, what's your thoughts on spreading around the defensive assets? Would you go all in Arsenal, Leno and Holding, or go with Leno and Rudiger? I'm all for going all in strategies. Really, really am. But in the case of that, I mean, Leno's a bad example. If you said, like, oh, I want to go Holding, Cedric and Mari, for example, you could walk into any fucking game week and none of them be in the Arsenal team with what's happening in Europa. So, yes, but not for the teams who are still in Europe, is what I would say to that. Not for the teams that are still in Europe. Otherwise, yeah. And, okay, yeah, if you've got, like, decent bench coverage, then it's also fine. But nah, not for the teams in Europe in terms of powering into treble ups and stuff. John Simpson, thanks James for your Cody. Cresswell replied, now playing both. Benching Phillips, good luck, no fans. Sun captaincy question, if chasing, of course you can. Neil says, deadline boys and girls, wish you all the luck of the world this week. Go Harry. Matt Potter, great pod as always. Cheers. Thank you, Matt. TJ Powell, why do you think the new manager bounce never lasts more than a few weeks? Well, it lasted about 3 months for Solskjaer. And to be honest, when Chelsea appoint a manager, it normally always lasts about 6 months, to be fair. TJ, that's what we just did. Stian Bosdil, don't put your hand down your pants while kids are watching. Wait till deadline when everyone fucks off. To be honest, I was really clear about trying to... Oh, you actually can't see my hands. In front of me on the screen, I'm thinking, well, you can all see my hands. And I'm looking at the screen, I'm going, they can't see my hands. Ian O'Neill, oh, I know you're okay. I'm just saying that I was one of the few caught out with a Fulham postponement. I have Kane and Son vice captain this week as well. And TJ, hi James, quick advice, Dean or Dunk to bench. I think we're deadline gone, mate, but it would have been bench Dunk. Atul, hey James, I know this sounds like a lot of work, but is there any idea of doing a season end review for each of the 20 teams with the correspondence? It's a lovely idea. It probably won't happen. Because there's other things we want to do in the build-up for the European Championships. We will almost definitely do correspondent week again, and hopefully I've got something really interesting for you this coming Tuesday, but it's very, very dependent on a particular result tomorrow. FPL captain, how's Champman going for you, mate? Abysmal, mate. About 400. I am at the point now where I'm lucky if I get the team done. I haven't missed the deadline yet, but it fucking nearly happened yesterday. Ray Qureshi, with hopefully... I did bring in Henri and captain him, to be fair, but not great. Ray Qureshi, with hopefully the darkness of lockdown eventually appearing behind us soon. Plans on an FPL meet-up, James? Question. Yeah, in an ideal world, yes. I can't give you any information. There's nothing I can tell you. But yes, there'll be meet-ups when the time's right and when it's sensible. Alejandro says, good luck, fellas. Thanks, James, for the response. As to Copa, can we talk about the Spurs league team now? The deadline has gone. I'd like to hear your thoughts on how bad it is. It's fucking abysmal and I don't want to talk about it. So to answer the previous question, how do I think the game will go tactically? Well, if that's the Tottenham team, I think Everton will win tonight. And then Kane and Son might well get rested on Wednesday. Panic, deadline's gone. It might work. I know that he can... I mean, I'm doubting any of his principles in terms of coaching. I know he cannot coach a team to play in that system. I genuinely fucking know that. FPL Warrior, good luck, James. Which Arsenal? Fuck Arsenal. Oh, this is the bit where I'm meant to say, if you've got any non-FPL questions, now's a good time to put them in the chat. I'm only going to hang around for about 10 minutes tonight, though, guys, because I want to give the little man a bath. That's my son, not the... Yeah. Please don't do that. I need to eat dinner and Spurs are playing. So at 6:45 I'm done. Garlic25 said, asking again after deadline, if you could pick a player from each club at Spurs, who would you take? Try and make a full starting 11. Good luck this week. Hope you beat City in League Cup. So, like, realistic signings? Realistic signings? Players you could maybe take? I'll have to leave Arsenal out, right? Because it's not realistic to take an Arsenal player. Emi Martinez from Villa or Ezri Konsa. Brighton, Lewis Dunk. Happily take Ben White. Burnley... I tell you what, I'd happily have Chris Wood as an understudy to Kane. I've gone cold on James Tarkowski this year, I have to say. Chelsea, it's not realistic to say anyone because they'll never sell to us. Palace, Eze. Everton, I'm not sure it's realistic to take anyone off them. Luka Dean, if Reguilon left, maybe. I think we'd need Champions League football for that, maybe. I will say Ben Godfrey. Fulham, although he's not their player, Anderson by miles. Leeds, I like the look of Llorente the last few games, actually. But love Dallas All Energy. What a brilliant squad player to have who could play multiple positions. But Rafinha, I don't think Rafinha would be realistic for Spurs. Leicester, how much do they want for Fofana, Pereira, Siyuncu, Ndidi, Tielemans, Barnes, Maddison? Can I take all of them? Fucking hell. Realistic one. Fuck, man. I don't think any of them are if they finish top 4. If they didn't, and we did, and I think that's what it would probably need. I think for what Tottenham need at the moment, Pereira would be the one. Liverpool, I mean, whisper it quietly, but could you nick someone like Oxlade-Chamberlain off them? I'd take James Milner for his experience for a year, to be honest. Man City, Bernardo Silva. Why would he step down? I don't know, other than money, the Portuguese links at Tottenham, etc. Love him as a footballer, but I think he's part of City's best 11 at the moment. United, you need to go beyond the first 11. I'd take Dan James as an impact substitute. There's nobody realistic we're going to buy from him. Newcastle, St Maximin, I think it's fairly straightforward. Sheffield United, O'Connell. Someone who could play left-sided centre-back is always useful. Who's natural in that position. Southampton, Danny Ings. West Brom, Sam Johnston. I think it'd be a great understudy goalkeeper. West Ham, again, it's not a realistic one to take someone from them. Who could we get that's maybe real? Soufal. Fucking love him. He's absolutely brilliant at right back, and we got such a problem there. Wolves, I would have said to you Pedro Neto last week, but I'm not going to say that now because obviously he's injured. Traore. I'd just use him as an impact substitute as well. Okay. Joe Finley Baller, time to put your Spurs knowledge to the test. Spurs played Watford pre-season 2012-13. What was the significance of the game, the result, and who scored? 12-13 pre-season friendly. I'm trying to think, was I there? Is the first thing. I went 1 year and Defoe scored and we won 1-0. I don't know if that's the right answer. I can't remember anything significant about that game. I don't feel like that's the right year though. I feel like it was before that. I got absolutely smashed out of my mind that day. I was drinking in Watford all day. We was true story, Joe. The pub by the station, and we kept missing the train every fucking half hour, and having another pint. And we ended up leaving there about 9:30 at night or something. I don't think that's the right answer though. Please let me know. Prediction for the M1 Derby tomorrow, you'll win. But let me know in the chat what the answer is, because I'm not convinced that that's right. Stian Bosdale, cheese on pizza. I'm on a mix of mozzarella, camembert and Jarlsberg. Do I look like I understand what half these words mean beyond mozzarella? Atul says, can you do any impressions, James, besides the wife? No, she's the best one that I do. No one famous anyway. GM Stores, just triple captain son last Saturn. Good luck. Alistair says, always got to keep the little man washed. Francis Logan, are you watching the Rangers v Celtic game? Brilliant stream. Hail. No, mate. I've not really got much interest in that. Days a real little man, Ray. Yeah, you're quite right. TJ Powell, first your hands and then little man, not a PG stream. To be fair, I do put it in the description. It's not for kids. Neil says Little John wasn't that little as well, lads. FPL Warrior, you're a rock star, James. Surely you qualify for most number of Q&As in our own stream in the Guinness Book of Records. I doubt it, mate. I could do them a lot faster, but I'd be so aggressive to people if I did. Oh, Niels is quite saying to Atul I can do Optimus Prime. Where was Optimus Prime today? Where's he at? Joe Finley Bader saying fair play, 1-0 Defoe. Lloyd Doyley's testimonial. Get in, as if I was going to remember it's fucking Lloyd Doyley's testimonial. Jesus. Moretti saying his first Premier League goal was against Fulham in a 3-3 draw. I want to say, I'll throw one back at you. FPL Warrior, what's your most random away day memory? Shitting my pants at Coventry. FPL captain, any upcoming trips to Centre Parks? No. Sidger's gone today actually till Monday, bless. No, can't fucking locking myself up before next Saturday, mate. Javinho 99, James, if Jose was sacked tomorrow and you were appointed caretaker manager for the Carabao Cup final, what 11 would you select? Love the content as always, mate. Keep up the good work. So I'd play Lloris in goal for the final, and I think it's different teams between final and what you do with the team. For the final, I would go Lloris in goal, Tanganga at right back, Reguilon at left back. I'd go Alderweireld and Rodon, Højbjerg, and he'd be told, don't fucking get further than 10 yards in front of the centre backs. It'd be like, if you fucking move away from their centre backs, you're coming straight off the pitch, and I'll just put someone else there to do that job. Lo Celso and Ndombele just slightly in front to the side. Kane dropping in to almost form like a diamond and to play Son and Bale as high wide players and ask them not to defend. That's the team that I would pick. Lewis Browning, make sure you feed Harry as well, or Jose won't be happy. He'll get fed. Stian says the Spanners left you for dead today. They all showed up post deadline. It's so true, Stian. Ray Qureshi went to Chessington with the kids today, pal. Any plans to take little one to a theme park soon? No, he ain't ready for that shit, mate. Ez Thrifty, if you could invite a football player or manager, who would it be? And topic of discussion: Mourinho and death. Joe Finney Badder, wrong. Doyley didn't score until his 269th appearance against QPR in 2009. I said 3-3 draw. Was it a 3-3 draw? No, I feel like he won 2-0 that day. Am I remembering a game against Fulham that he scored though? Maybe. I know he had. I knew the reason I remembered it and knew it is because I knew he had a mad record of not scoring goals. FPL Warrior, how far along have you got in your 200 managers who are better than Mourinho list? I wouldn't say better. Let's say he's the wrong manager at the wrong time. The list has 125 names on it at the moment, is the genuine truth. And there are 125 names who I could say, without further thinking, I would definitely take you over Mourinho. And there's not people on there like fucking Sam Allardyce. There's not names there for the sake of it. I'm telling you, I want to get that list to 200. I need to do a bit more research. But at the moment, there's 125 names that I would take to play him. Connell says, where's the league Spurs lineup? I don't know, because I ain't seen it. Alistair says predictions for the Cup semi-finals. I do strongly think Leicester will beat Southampton. I think most of us would. City Chelsea's tough call, actually. I think it might be dependent on what team the two sides pick. I think they might both make some changes that are a bit surprising. Because I think they'll be a little bit conscious that they've got to play each other again in the league. Particularly from Tuchel's perspective. And obviously it could be the Champions League final as well, right? So I think there might be some surprises in the lineups for that semi-final tomorrow. I'm going to fancy Man City for the majority of games they play. Right, I'm going to go Edwardinho, Adam, Bricky and Ray, and that's it. Edwardinho, I decided not to take any hits. That's my new strategy. Thanks for that. Don't mind that. Adam Elvin, hi James, great stream as always. What are your thoughts on the Dele Alli situation? Always liked him as a player. Enjoy getting back to watching live football. All the best. Dele's regressed. There's no doubt about it. But the fact that he's not being used at all. I mean, take that system we're going to play. We're going to play 3-5-2. Love Ali behind Son and Kane if you are going to play that. Anyway, it's up to Dele, but then it's like he slowly brought him back in. He played the Fulham game. He wasn't great, but then we were all bad at Fulham. It's not seen again since. It's what he does. He just throws people under the bus, right? FPL Bricky, Saar going to tear us apart tomorrow. Worried it could be a cricket score. Bricky's a Luton fan. That one's for you, Joe. You probably knew that. Ray Qureshi, gun to the head. Who'll win the Champions League? Paris Saint-Germain. I'd love to see Poch win it. I think it will come from the PSG City game. I'd actually think Chelsea will beat Real Madrid. Ian O'Neill, do you think the decision Levy makes on Josie will have an effect on what Kane decides? Quite possibly. And we'll leave it there. Cheers, guys. Much appreciate that. As ever, like and subscribe on your way out. Would very much appreciate that. In terms of content, that's us done till Monday. 2 full feature Planet FPL podcasts from us next week. Monday and Friday. So on Monday, we'll review the games. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And on Friday, we'll review the games Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That podcast on Monday will also feature suggested chip strategies around the potential movement of game weeks 36 and 37 with a clearer understanding of what a double 35 or a blank 36 is going to look like. We'll talk about that a bit on Monday. I say I will, and Sujal ask the right questions. Tuesday, I know what I want the podcast to be, but it's very dependent on a particular result tomorrow, and I don't want to put the mockers on it in case it goes badly, in which case it might change, but it will be a People's Poll podcast. You'll enjoy it if it comes off. Wednesday will be Sky Fantasy. Thursday, Clash of the Correspondents, Andy Martin, FPL Tactician, Gary Robinson is my cat playing Leeds versus Manchester United, big one, Pennines Derby next Thursday. Deadline stream will be 5:30 again next week. Obviously, if you want to support the content that we do, you can support us on Patreon from intermediate tier. There's an additional 5 podcasts every week from intermediate tier. Monday we have our Q&A. Tuesdays are Tottenham rants, and it could be an extra special one this week with the cup final obviously coming up as well. Wednesday we do something random. Thursday's a quiz. Friday we do our game week preview. We talk a little bit more in depth of all the games ahead of the weekend every Friday. And at advanced tier, I have daily articles and videos for the advanced tiers as well. And if you just want to buy us a beer, say thanks James, love what you and Suj do. Buy us a beer, become a basic tier patron for £3 a month, which also gets you into the Planet FPL Slack community should you want to do so. And I can promise you, it's just a really nice fucking version of Twitter. Imagine, if you're not familiar with Slack imagine having about 100 different WhatsApp groups and you can choose which ones you want to be in. That's what that is. Anyway, guys, you can find links to Patreon, obviously, in the bio of the stream. I wish you all the very best of luck for the game week ahead. Speak soon. Have a great weekend. Ciao for now.